Hello there, my name is Zoidira Wangoi from Kodarasa, and today I'm going to cover domain activities in domain-driven design. We have three different domain activities in domain-driven design. We have commands, we have events, and we have queries. So let's start with commands. Commands. They're exactly as they sound. It's a command. They represent a request to perform an action. That's what a command is. Please do this. It has not happened yet because it's a request. This is something that has not happened. It's something that will happen in the future if accepted. Because of that, yes, it could potentially be rejected. It's something we need to be aware of. Aside from that, we need to know that they usually have a specific recipient in mind. So once it gets to the recipient, it can result in different things. It can result in an event, as in our first case where we have a command that finally ends up being an event, and it can also result into state. Depending on how you've architectured your system, designed your system, you can have change your state from a command or from an event. That depends on you. Of course, don't do it from a command. My opinion. Quote me, please. When received, it causes a change to the state of a domain. So it will cause a change when effected, if not rejected. After completing the command, the domain won't be in the same state as it was prior. As we've seen, if it has not been rejected, it will cause a change to the state. So let's look at some examples of commands in our student management system. We can have a command create student that has first name and last name of the student and whatever other details you want to add into a student when creating a student. We can have add activity to a student, get the activity ID, maybe the activity name, maybe the student ID, and we can also have assign duty to student. If you want to assign duties to a student, you can have such a command. Let's now look at events. What are events? So we've covered commands. Let's find out what events are. Events represent an action that has already happened. It has happened in the past. Because of that, we can't reject it. Because of this, we can't go back and be like, no, this did not happen. It really happened, and it's just a record of it. It cannot be rejected since it already happened, and they're often broadcasted to many destinations. What do I mean when I say this? Let's say I have microservices, and in one, let me think of them as bounded context. So we have a class bounded context, we have or a class aggregate, and then we have a student aggregate. Remember, when we're talking about aggregates, please reference the video on aggregates and also bounded context. I wanted to use microservices, but I've not covered it yet. But ideally, in that world where you need to communicate with other services, other aggregates, after making a change on your own aggregate, in this case, then we talked about it needing to have eventual consistency. Sending a message, it will be affected later. So once this event has been done, for instance, I've added a student, this needs to maybe be registered in the class aggregate. So in the student aggregate, we've added a student. After that, we may need to send a message to the class aggregate to now have this student added in there or listed, something like that. Or maybe once a student is added, we check if the class is big enough to accommodate them. So that's another event we need to maybe check on. So there are all these, it is broadcasted to many destinations. There are many people who are interested in this event, and then they subscribe to it or listen to it so that they can make changes on their own, so that they can make checks on their own, and etc. etc. That's what I mean when I say that. It records a change to the state of a domain. So this is a record of a change. Let's look at examples of events. We have student added, same details. We have activity added to student, and we have duty assigned to student. Model it as you see fit according to your own system and according to, of course, whatever you're modeling for. We're going to do a video on domain modeling and knowledge crunching soon, so watch out for that. Queries, let's look at the last domain activity. What are queries? They represent a request for information about the domain. I want some information from you, so this is not making any change. This is just requesting what's already existing in the domain. They request a change. A response is always expected, unlike in commands and events. Remember, I've asked you a question like, give me this student. I do expect a student at the end of the day, or if the student doesn't exist, give me a reply of none or something like that. But I do expect a response at the end of the day. It's usually delivered to a specific destination. Remember, there was a specific action to request this information, so it will need to be delivered back to whoever asked this question. That's what I mean when I say that. It does not alter the state of the domain. Again, I'm requesting for information that already exists. All you're doing is giving it back to me or telling me it does not exist. So because of that, I'm not altering the domain in any way. Let's look at examples. We have get student, we have get student activities, and we have get student details. I've used the same theme so that you understand what I'm working with. As you noticed, in commands, it was literally a command, do this. An event was a record. This has been done. And now when we're doing queries, it's just get this, give me this, such a language. Commands, events, and queries form the API for bounded context or microservice. So these are going to be your API endpoints. That's what I mean when I say that. And that's all for domain activities. Thank you for watching. My name is Waithera from Kodarasa. Like and subscribe if you like the video, and feel free to leave a comment, ask any questions you want, or tell me that you liked the video. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Bye.